no idea what this is, but it intrigues me. I saw this in my Discord and I thought this is interesting that I would unironically watch this in my own time if I don't get to record it. So, unfortunate second of pause on the video, but America's secret underground cheese bunkers. I've never heard of this before in my life. Why do cheese bunkers exist? Why do we need to Is it like, things that we keep just in case we go to the apocalypse? We always want to make sure that in the future Fallout like universes, we always have cheese no matter what. Cheese exists. It is our it is our right as a people. It is the only humane thing we'll keep. Not stores of technology, but cheese. Maddie, would you eat cheese with a special mold in it? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't eat the moldy cheese. I'm sorry. I know some people do, and I know some of them even have maggots in it, and that's like how the cheese comes. But no, I am good. I worked with cheese a lot in my when I'm at one of my jobs. I actually had to work with so many different cheese, pepper jack. Bon, I actually don't remember the name of most of them. But it was pepper jack, Monterey jack, uh blue cheese. Uh, Even though that one's in a different container. Uh, I don't think provolone was with cheese. I think that's a meat. Because I had to work with cheeses and meats. I'm gonna get those mixed up and somebody's gonna get angry. So, oh my god, Twitch just paid me $70. Nice, thank you, Twitch. Anyways, let's get right into this.
This has almost nothing to do with the U.S. military, but it's so ridiculous I can't not talk about it. Today we're talking about America's strategic cheese reserve. Yeah, if you didn't know, the United States currently has over 500 underground cave warehouses
Oh my
spanning
god.
across 35
I was
different states,
joking.
the largest of which is underneath Springfield,
I was
Missouri.
joking
where
about the
America,
cheese
as of
reserves.
August 2022, currently hoards 1.5 billion pounds of cheese. And just for the record, I
But
realize I'm
why?
uploading this video very close to April
But
Fool's Day. This is
why?
not an
I
April
don't
Fool's
get
joke.
it.
I am 100%
Why?
serious. El Dorado
would-
is real, and Uncle Sam made it out of cheese.
El Dorado is real. Listen, as long as it's not like something like blue cheese, I think I'm fine with the cheese. But El Dorado, somebody in the future, right? I could imagine in the future, some dying civilization, right? In the future, if we were like to go to a nuclear apocalypse, is gonna find this vault and it's gonna be like, oh my god, we're gonna find ancient technology, stores of the past. Ooh, drinking soda. Give me a second. Oh, hey, burp's gone. Technology from the past. We're gonna rocket our current Stone Age, or I guess whatever age we are in that point, back to the golden age of technology. And then they open the fucking vault, and what's inside it? 1.5 billion pounds of fucking cheese. All right, fucking cheese. I mean, they'll be fed somewhat, but still, like, I think I'd just kick a crate over and let myself get buried in cheese and die. Might as well. A way to go. El Dorado.
City of gold.
And I know what you're thinking. Right now, you're like, wow, that's a cool little factoid. I can't wait to share that with my buddy at the bar one day. But no, this is going to infect your thoughts for the rest of your life. You're never going to see the world through the same lens ever again.
You?
I mean, for example, let's just say you're at home watching The Walking Dead. You're going to come to the realization there'd be way more fucking cheese in the apocalypse than that, okay? You're never going to be able to watch Mad Max again without thinking about cheese. You have to come to the terrifying realization that you live in a world where there is a greater than 0% chance that one of these underground cheese caves gets mistaken for a government facility and gets nuked in World War III, and we're going to have to deal with a radioactive tsunami wave of nacho cheese. And this is real life. So I asked myself one question. How on earth did America get to this point? Because I know it didn't happen overnight. And what I found was the craziest real-world example of a butterfly effect that I have ever seen. And believe it or not, it all actually ties back in with last week's video of the ice cream ships.
I have heard about this. So I did hear that the Germans were getting told pretty much that our shit was in like really bad condition as theirs, even though because theirs was in really bad condition because they were stretching their stuff thin that they couldn't even stop their cars anymore, even though that does consume a little bit of fuel back in the day. Even considering even our cars or vehicles on was considered like, oh my god, they're doing so much better than us. Uh, but I think one of the most demotivating things for the Germans was to find out that we had ice cream ships that were not just bringing ice cream, they were making ice cream on that for everybody there. And while you're starving, you know? I think that's one of the most biggest demotivators you could have of fighting against a force.
World War II. If you missed that, the super abbreviated version, basically the US government banned alcohol during Prohibition in the 1920s. Because of that, all the bars in America turned themselves into ice cream parlors to stay in business. Ice cream stepped up to fill the social void left by alcohol. If so facto, there was like 2 generations of Americans that treated ice cream like it was alcohol, socially speaking. As I'm sure you can imagine, this would drive up dairy consumption. Combine that with the fact that the 30s and 40s is when refrigeration would become readily accessible, meant that for the first time in human history there was such a demand for dairy products that farmers could exclusively become dairy farmers, meaning that this would be the birth of the entire dairy industry. And honestly, it worked out great
Oh my
right up until
god.
it didn't in 1949. 1949, 4 years after World War II, the American military is downsized. There's not an entire horde of young men eating 10,000 calories a day, and America's not exporting anywhere near as much food to other countries for war relief.
The military industrial complex and its consequences, everything is bumped up to meet that entire quota. And then, once it ends, the fall.
That there was a decrease in dairy consumption or a dip in the dairy market. As this became a bigger and bigger problem, the government had to step in because they weren't about to let the entire dairy industry implode, because I mean, let's face it, that would be utter catastrophe. So the USDA stepped in and said, hey, you know what, we're gonna buy all the excess milk.
Smooth milk.
Okay, pause. Thought experiment. You're a dairy farmer. You make all of your money by selling milk. And then suddenly, a couple years back, motherfuckers quit drinking milk, aka you made less money. Now the government has come out of left field and said, hey, we're gonna buy all of the milk. What do? You make more fucking milk. And that's exactly what happened.
Milk me
so
for my
just to
milk.
be clear, there was already too much milk. Now there's definitely gonna be too much milk. So naturally, all the milk starts flowing in. The government has absolute...
I look at my chat, it just says, you guys spending on military is just ridiculous. You know what? I'm so offended by that. Can we get 1 billion to the military industrial complex? We're almost there anyways. We're only a couple million off. Can we please get it? Or is it a trillion? 1 trillion, I mean. 1 trillion to the military industrial complex. We're a couple billion off. We're a couple billion off. That's what I mean. Nah, bro. Nah. Glory to the military industrial complex. We need more contracts for Lockheed Martin right now, alright? We've got to make some more stuff. Skunk Works has not done enough. They need to make flying spaceships, okay? Alright, the stars are ours to inherit, and the Skunk Works will be the way, alright?
No idea what to do with it, so they turn it into cheese. That way it doesn't expire. That part makes sense.
But we
now
manage.
What do you do with all the cheese? They have no clue, so they just throw it underneath a mountain, ignore it, and hope the problem goes away. But it doesn't go away because every single presidential administration through the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, they all continue to buy up excess milk to prop up the dairy industry, turn it into cheese, and stash it away in these caves. It literally turns into a giant political game of kick the can down the road because nobody wants to be the president that crashes the global economy by not buying enough milk while sitting on top of a mountain of cheese, which, understandable, I don't want to be that guy either. Then, fast forward to 1980, Ronald Reagan, aka the small
Cut off military spending? What are you? Huh? Hell nah. What do you think we are? Rational? Hell nah. Alright, there is more guns in America than people. We are not gonna cut the military spending. We have all the cool shit, and I like to keep it that way.
Government guy gets elected, finds out that the U.S. government...
We're pointing to healthcare? Hell no. I love waking up as an American every day, knowing I have shit healthcare but I could buy a gun at my local grocery store or Walmart.
Is sitting on top of 500 million pounds of cheese and spending $1 million a day to refrigerate
Look
and
at
store
that
it. And he
cheese.
looks at this whole issue like a beaver looks at running water. Absolutely fucking not. We can't have
Damn.
it. So his
Damn.
administration goes about figuring out the cheapest way to solve this cheese problem. Obviously, we're going to throw it all in the ocean. However, having at least the foresight to understand that that would cause political backlash, he wanted to see how the public would receive it, so someone from his administration shows up to a White House press conference with a 5-pound block of moldy cheese and is like, hey, we got 500 million pounds of this shit. How would you guys feel if we threw it in the ocean? It'll be fun. We'll save money on cheese. We're going to find out if blue whales are lactose intolerant. It's going to be a great science experiment. The public did not...
They're not going to like that, but it's be funny to find out, how do you know the whales are lactose intolerant to cheese? Well, unfortunately to tell you, sir, the water just seems to be all brown.
Not go for it. They kind of felt like, hey, I've paid taxes for the last 40 years. You've turned those taxes into cheese. I would at least like the cheese. So then the Reagan administration took the 55-gallon drums of cheese, cut it up into 5-pound blocks, packaged it, and spent the remainder of his administration funneling 300 million pounds of cheese into impoverished and elderly homes. And this is where...
Okay, that's a double entendre right there. See, it turns out the cheese worked as a double-double. It would actually hide the crack in the cheese, and that's why there's so many tweakers.
We get the saying government cheese from.
You're gonna end up eating a steady diet of government cheese and living in a van down by the river.
The US government would then continue to give out government cheese until the 1990s when they seemingly ran out, because as of today, all 1.5 billion pounds of underground secret cheese in America is privately owned by corporations like Kraft and Velveeta. And this is the part where I wanted to end the video on a happy note of the government made a mistake, they fixed a mistake over 50 years, happy ending,
No.
hooray. However,
the private sectors own the cheese. That means there's a cheese mafia out there. Okay, this is a problem. All right. No wonder they shot out Mickey. He found out about it. The cheese reporters, they've been gone for years. No wonder this has been a thing. Oh my god, it's all connected to the cheese, the cheddar.
Didn't really make sense because something happened in the 1990s where the government was able to stop buying the excess milk. What happened? And that's when it hit me. It was
Stock
absolutely
crash?
the Got Milk ad campaign, the biggest, most iconic ad campaign of all time. I mean, every cafeteria and every school in America had a
do
bunch
not
of
remember
posters of
this.
famous athletes with milk mustaches
No, I
saying,
don't
"Got
remember
milk,
this.
drink your milk." I vividly remember commercials as a child telling me that if I didn't drink enough milk, my arms would literally fall off my body.
Well, Mr. Miller told me he never drinks milk. Look at him.
Oh my god!
Oh, that's not good.
Got milk.
Surely this is what
Why
inspired an
sound
entire
so-
generation of Americans to eat and drink
Why
milk.
did that got milk sound so like ASMR? I mean, like, got milk? Like, bro, calm down, bro. This is a commercial for children.
For dairy products, right? I mean, yeah, probably, but looking back on it now as an adult, doesn't it seem just a little bit weird that it wasn't a particular company putting on all these ads? Like,
Oh
if there was...
my god, the subtle shift to the tinfoil hat. The big milk. It's a big pharma. It's big milk. Big milk is after you guys. Normally, Switzerland exports a lot of cheese to USA, but because of Trump, it's like cut half of it, even less. We're short before killing. Before those accounts, we can't use anymore. Well. Sucks to suck. Anyways.
One company profiting from selling all this milk, where was all the money coming from? I mean, it almost seems like the government launched a giant psychological operation, ad campaign, just so that they could offload milk
Wouldn't be
so
the
they wouldn't
first
have to
time.
keep contributing to their
Or
mountain
the
of
third.
cheese. Well,
Or the fourth
I'm
time.
gonna take this off now because that's legit exactly what happened. In
there's legit
1995,
more,
the
yeah.
U.S. government created a non-profit organization known as Dairy Management Incorporated, and their entire job was to get the American people to eat and drink more dairy products. Literally a cabal of individuals plotting behind the scenes to get people to eat more cheese. It's the cheesiest conspiracy of all time, and I'm not even
It's the cheesiest conspiracy Nah, I hate to break your cheddar here, but this is a little bit cringe. Do you know the game Space Engineers? No, I don't, Chip.
Anything that has ever been sold or marketed that involved way too much cheese on it, this company is behind. Okay, they're the
Yeah?
reason that Taco Bell started selling steak quesadillas. They were behind the Got Milk ad campaign.
No, they infected Taco Bell. Want to try it? I mean, if it's fun, I'll give it a try. But no, not Taco Bell.
In 2002, when Pizza Hut had the Summer of Cheese event where they put way too much cheese on all their pizzas, this is who was behind it. In 2010, when Domino's almost went out of business, they gave Domino's $12 million to stay in business and then gave them a bunch of cheese so that they could put extra cheese on all of their pizzas, and that was their entire proposition for staying in business. Hey, our pizzas have more cheese on them now, so they're good. It is absolutely insane. So I did it. I found the world's cheesiest conspiracy, but then I found leaked internal documents from DMI, and they are the funniest fucking thing I have ever read in my entire life. Let me go ahead and read one for you now. It's a letter.
I'm expecting very cheesy replies. In fact, it might be molding. I'm not gonna lie.
From Pizza Hut to DMI regarding a meeting they recently had, July
God.
6, 1999. Dear Greta, we wanted to express our thanks once again for a wonderful meeting last week. We appreciate your team taking the time to share some very valuable information and creativity during our brainstorming session. Everyone is very excited about the presentation you gave regarding DMI's available resources and cheese industry insights. We look forward to working together to develop many cheese ideas we've discussed. We believe this is going to be a valuable partnership for both Pizza Hut and DMI. Let's sell more pizza and more cheese! Exclamation point. Thank you again for coming to Dallas. We look forward to talking to you soon about our partnership opportunities. We will call you next week to discuss the next steps. Sincerely, Derek, Lord of the Cheese, and
Lord
Lispel,
of
Lady of the Cheese. Even they
I
know
love
that
it.
this is a fucking joke.
It
Why is
is.
this such a joke? Well, because Dairy Management Incorporated, while it is a non-profit, they don't actually have to raise money for themselves like most non-profits do, because they're also a government checkoff program, which means every dairy farmer in America is legally required, whether they want to or not, to send this company money so that they can advertise on their behalf. And their annual budget is like $140 million a year, with their CEO and top level executives all making right around $1 million per year. Okay, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, I'm trying to tell you there is a group of people in America getting paid $1 million to convince Americans that cheese
to buy
is awesome.
to just,
okay, that's like trying to fucking explain to Stevie Wonder what nothing looks like and getting paid $1 million for it. He already fucking knows that, okay? It makes no goddamn sense. Cheese is so fucking good that it is the one thing on earth that if you were allergic to it, we're not going to say you have a cheese allergy. No, you're lactose intolerant. We're not going to say you're allergic because we all know you're going to eat that shit anyway.
It's not an allergy, it's a debuff. But my God, does it taste good?
Because the consequences are worth it. Am I upset right now? A little bit. Is it because I'm jealous? Uh-huh. It's basically selling ass candles to dogs and getting paid $1 million for it. It is the most ridiculously easy job on the planet, and I'm so mad that it's not mine. Anyways, I guess if you made it this far in the Unhinged TED Talk, in conclusion, the US government banned alcohol in the 1920s. It set forth a ripple effect through time, and now some dude in 2023 has my dream job of making $1 million a year to convince people of some shit they already knew. And the US has 1.5 billion pounds of cheese hidden in an underground cave network. Fucking the more you know, I guess. Thanks for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang. Out.
Oh my God, it's a nice shirt. We found out about the cheese conspiracy. You know what? It's actually very believable. I'm not gonna lie. You know, the U.S. government do be doing shit. So, I'm not exactly surprised at all. I'm not gonna lie. It's, very much, what's the word? You don't, I don't know. I never knew that's what government cheese was based off of, but I have heard about the phrase government cheese before. So it's like not exactly surprising, but makes sense. But I gotta say, let's cut to the cheddar and get to the cheese. That makes no sense. All right, whatever. I can't think about cheesy jokes. All right, I can't think of cheesy jokes, and I'm a little sad. It's fine though. All right, it was whatever. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.